Hi there. Assuming you have a net salary of 100,000 Kenya shillings, how do you comfortably live in the city of Nairobi? Is what we're going to be talking about in this video. How you can live a comfortable life and cover all the bases when it comes to financial well-being when you are in the city of Nairobi with just 100,000 Kenya shillings. You are all much welcomed to the Money Daily TV. My name is Afagza Sifuna. By the way, if you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel because I'm out here each and every day bringing you amazing videos around personal finance, investing, and how best you can increase your money. And with that, with 100,000 Kenya shillings in the city of Nairobi, of course, it is good amount of money. But then again, it isn't insane amount of money which can afford you all the luxuries in the city of Nairobi. That is why it is important for you to plan this money very well. And I'm saying it is important because there are those key facets in life. For example, you saving. For example, you having best of experience at whichever amount in the city, which are very critical. With 100K, you can actually blow the money quite easily if you don't plan it very well. And as we always say, there are two key drivers which you need to have in mind. First one is you saving, regardless the amount of money you have. Okay, saving stroke investing is very key. And secondly, also living within your means. That's why this breakdown is gonna be important for you. And this is exactly how you can divide your money for you to lead quality life in Nairobi. The first thing is rent. Guys, under no circumstance should your rent be more than 25% of your income. That is just the way I look at it. If, for example, you are earning 40,000, under no circumstance should your rent be upwards of 10,000. And mind you, I'm assuming net. If you are earning 80,000, under no circumstance should your rent be upwards of 20,000. You name it. And in the same breath, with 100,000, under no circumstance should your rent be upwards of 25,000. In fact, if it is me, I'd ensure my rent doesn't even exceed 15,000. And I'm saying so because rent is gonna continue being there. Given you are living in someone's house, you're gonna continue paying rent. That is why it is very important for you to limit the amount of rent you are paying. Of course, not for you to use the spare amount of money recklessly, rather think about saving and investing. Because if you can manage your rent, you'll be able to get additional spare amounts of money for you to use for other important things. So with 100,000, it looks well, for example, in the city, maybe some places outskirts of the city, or even so, the larger Eastlands area of the city. Because we're talking about those areas, having rent somewhere between 10,000 to even 15,000 for a decent one bedroom. And mind you, we are assuming you are a starting professional. Maybe you are by yourself, or even so, just you and your spouse. The family is not big. A modest house, one bedroom, of somewhere between 10 to 15K should be a good starting point. Okay? And then the second other item on the list is food. Of course, we all appreciate in recent times, food has continued being expensive and expensive over time. Gone are the days, for example, where you could hit a supermarket and then do shopping of 2,000 Kenya shillings, have shopping for the entire month. This time, guys, even you having 1,000 is close to useless because you breaking down that money is going to just mean the money is going to be finished by you purchasing two or three items. Are you feeling the pinch? Comment down below in the comment section. Are you feeling the pinch? Once you break 1,000 Kenya shillings, do you feel it's important or even so that money runs out? So when it comes to food, my thought is somewhere around 10,000, 12,000 range is good. You can look to cap, for example, your monthly food at 12K. Maybe assume 7K or 8K for shopping and then about 5K for groceries. That should be sufficient to keep you going. Okay? And of course, when it also comes to shopping, you could look to do shopping at different places out there based on available offers. For example, if you're in Nairobi, Carrefour supermarkets have some amazing offers, cross-cutting different things which are sold there. Also, you could look to do bulk shopping of groceries as opposed to buying one a thing at a time. Because with bulk shopping of groceries, that's gonna assist you enjoy the discounts of purchasing in bulk. Okay, and with that, guys, you're gonna be able to enjoy some of the healthiest meal out there at the comfort of your house and also using favorable amount of money to access them. Ensure you purchase your food at those food stores which have discounts, and also purchase in bulk if you can, as opposed to purchasing an item each and every time. That way, you're going to enjoy a discount. And then the third cost driver for you at 100K salary is transport. Guys, Nairobi City, you have to incur transport for you to get home, to go to work, to go to whatever place out there. So I'd like to think, for example, with an average daily consumption of somewhere between 100 shillings and 250, depending on where you are in the city, a modest budget of about 5K to 7K each and every month should be sufficient for you to cater for your transport. Of course, I'm assuming, for example, you are a starting out professional. You don't have, for example, your own car, your own means of transport, so you're relying fully on public means. With an amount of about 6K Kenya shillings, you should be good and set for the month, regardless you live where in the city, because we're talking about maximum fare being about 100 shillings for those far-fetched places in the city. And you can have a discipline of even so looking for those options within your region which are, for example, cheap, because not every matatu, for example, has the same price. They vary across different matatus, so you could check for those which are affordable and then be utilizing those. And then another cost driver is utilities and also the cost of internet. Depending on the dynamics, utilities is a given because we all appreciate Kenya Power has been on the rise when it comes to cost. The cost of electricity has continuously increased in the country. That tells you you're going to have to pay quite a huge amount of money for you to get electricity. On average, 1,000 to about 2,500 is what you're going to consume, assuming you have a modest house, no complicated appliances in there. Okay? And then utilities, that depends. If, for example, you are working a lot from home, or even so you have additional work which you come to work on at home, maybe after working hours, you might need stable internet at home. That is also going to be another cost driver. And with approximately 5,000 Kenya shillings, you should be ready to go when it comes to this. Okay? And then beyond that, you can spare about 500 Kenya shillings for your entertainment stroke other essentials which you bump into. Maybe some thrift shopping, entertainment when you go out there, for example, to catch up with friends. You can have some little amount of money for coffee, you name it. With just a modest amount of 5K Kenya shillings, you should be able to push through the month. And of course, now the most important thing, all this I've spoken about takes you to about 55 to 60,000 Kenya shillings. And with that, guys, you can spare about 40,000 Kenya shillings for you to save or invest. In case you can spare 40K Kenya shillings, I'd really encourage you to start splitting between saving and investing. You can save 20K and look to invest about 20K, so that also, despite you having that little amount of earning, which of course is not very little, but people look at it like it's little, you can start investing. Think about it. What is it gonna be 5 years from now? Assuming you are investing 20K each and every month without failure. That's gonna tell you that in 5 years' time, you'll have almost 3 million shillings in your principal investment. You haven't factored in return on investments in form of dividends, interest, you name it. That's why, as you're saving, also think about investing and start early so that your investment can grow over time. Guys, do you think a salary or an earning or an amount of 100,000 Kenya shillings each and every month is sufficient for you to lead a good life in the city? Do you think a lower amount is sustainable? Or even so, do you think you can't live with 100 Kenya shillings each and every month in Nairobi and you need higher amount? Comment down below in the comment section. Let's continue discussing. Cheers, guys.